what we're not doing. Well, I shouldn't say what we're not doing. I'd like you to explore what's happening with your pelvis. That's probably a better way. Is your pelvis doing this? We want to stay in a range where we can stay connected through thigh, pelvis, and rib cage. So your front leg is working. Your hip is working. One more like that. And we'll hold. Pull your front foot towards the back of your mat without letting it move, and pull your back knee forward towards the front of your mat without letting it move. Notice what happens in your hip joint, in your low back. And then do the opposite. Push them away from each other. Notice what that does for you. So it means you have choice. One is not better than the other, but one might give you something different than the other. So what is it that you need? And then come back down. We'll change sides. So we find the shape first. Be in the shape for a moment to notice what your pelvis is doing. Is it distorting your spine? Does this hip lift up? Does your back knee need to be in a different position? One of the challenges that, there's so many great things about the Ashtanga practice. It's a practice that you need to know so well. And it was originally taught by giving one pose at a time, one-on-one. And it changed so much to be, taught to the masses. But so once you know it, you know it. But if you weren't taught it properly, then you don't know it. And there's no time for sitting with anything. You got 5 breaths in each pose, that's it. And when you're breathing faster because you're moving faster.
They are. So you embody this creature and you become this one so that you can, if you are equipped with wings, start to fly and soar. Or if you've got 4 legs on the ground, you start to travel through that environment, maybe even slithering along the ground. Allow yourself to experience their world embodied as this animal. To see through their eyes. Sense what they bring to the world. What their energy is as it merges and moves through you. And as you are enjoying perhaps this beautiful experience of being with this one, they have something more to show you, and so they bring you to a place. And as you arrive at this place they have brought you to, you become yourself and them again, as if sitting across from one another, like old friends. You might already be sort of feeling full of gratitude for the experience of being them, being with them.
Or the top of the neck, connect. And breathe. Then I'd like you to imagine that your fingers there are like a balloon. balloon filled with helium. So now you're gently leaning back into the balloon, not your whole body, but just that part, just below that ridge of your skull, starts to lean back into the balloon gently. It's not a pressing, it's a leaning. Then imagine that the balloon starts to float upward because it's got helium. So you have to create that action and start to lift up through the back of the neck. Very gently, it's not a big movement. So first there's the leaning back and then there's the lifting. And this is a really great way to start to bring your head into a position where it's valuable, where it will stack over top of your body in an optimal way. So then release, bring your arms down. See if you can hold that position. If you're not sure, if you kind of went, oh, I went back to my normal, come back and see. I will take you down onto the floor. So it's a pressing back and up. Back and up. So it's like the top of the throat goes back and up. A lot of physios and a lot of other people will ask you to pull your chin in. So I want you to try that and just see what that feels like, to pull your chin in. And then try to breathe. Take a deep breath, see what it feels like. And then let that go. Come back to this idea. You can have your hands here or not. Now that you know what I'm asking you to do, that part just below the base of the skull moves back and up. See if you can keep that. You can either keep your hands there or take them away and take a few deeper breaths. And is there a difference? Thumbs up if there's a difference. Yeah, awesome. A little bit, Liz, okay. If there's not, that's something to kind of work on. I would say there will be a big difference. It's learning that. It's kind of like the top of your throat smiling, if that makes sense. Okay, so now let's go down onto the floor. I'd love for you to feel a difference because there's a huge difference in the way that's done. You're going to take your blanket. I'm opening it up longer like this, and I'm going to roll it. Start with a pretty tight roll. So it doesn't really matter the size of the blanket. Mine's pretty thick, mine's pretty dense because it's a yoga blanket, and I lay it down. If it's a thinner blanket, that's okay too. So it's just kind of wide enough just that it could fit between my shoulder blades. And there's space here. When I come down, I sit on the blanket, and then I'm kind of going down, and I'm going to find the top. Bring your hand here. This is a gesture. We think this is a gesture of don't come any closer, but it's actually a gesture of come. Breathe. Awesome job. Yeah, balance is an issue. Okay, lift. Back into warrior one. And step forward again. I'm going to invite you to bring your 2 blocks, if they're not already there, at the end of your mat. I wanted to show you that face on. Now I'm going to turn again. So they're somewhere here. I've got them right on my mat. Okay, next part. Step back with your right foot. Every time we come into warrior one, it's an opportunity to go, what am I doing in this pose? What do I want from this pose? Okay, ready for Shiva? Back leg. See if you can do it at the same time. Yeah, it's beautiful. Other side. Back leg. Just gotta sit into the pose. Let's do it again. And forward. One more time, exactly like that. Warrior one, Try to be fluid. Dancer pose. You're dancing the universe into existence. That was his job. This is a moment in time. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna add on. Are you ready? Warrior one on the first side. Shiva. Now watch my hands. I'm going to change my arms first. This one goes down. This one goes up. Stand up on the straight leg and put your foot wherever it is without trying to get anywhere. Do all the things you know about Vrikshasana, tree pose. Pause. Use that leverage from your foot and your leg to lengthen through here as opposed to turning your hips, turning your spine. Okay. Are you ready? Release this arm down and out. Release this arm down and forward. Keeping this knee high, come forward. So I'll turn. Come forward. Keeping this knee high. Oh. Land on your block. Remember, it's okay to laugh if you fall. And find Ardha Chandrasana. Not a new pose, so I'm not teaching these poses so much today. But spend enough time in it that you can feel how you need to adjust. Remember all the lessons that we've been talking about. Weight in your heel of your standing foot, reaching up through your outer heel of your lifted leg. Then bend your lifted leg, reversing, bend your standing leg. Now this is the hard part. Bring your palms together. This isn't the hard part. That's the easy part. Bring your palms together and come back into tree pose. And step down.